I believe it was in 1995. The movie came out 7 with Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Spacey. The movie 7, I must admit to you about something. I've gone into a lot of details about the messages we're getting through movies, through visions and dreams. Okay? Brad Pitt plays in this movie. He also plays in World War Z with a massive zombie apocalypse, right? The zombie apocalypse is written under the COVID Act. We go into a lot of details about this in DNA studies done and evidence all over the world with the VREL. The VREL is a parasite that's in every human being on earth. Believe it or not, it's on every study done with every person that dies from every disease. I go into a lot of specific details about this with medical files and all the evidence to back this up. People don't understand, right? 95% of people suffer from stress, and it's a parasite. Believe it or not, in every study done, but they hide it from you. Why do you think we stopped worming? And why do you think mental disorders and DNA defects was at 2% in 1960 and 95% today? And why do you think the whole world's confused, right, on reverse psychology inside their mind? Because they have no idea what's going on. Not even remotely close. They think they know, but they only think they know inside their mind with consciousness trapped in their skull and can't use 27 senses with universal language, mental telepathy, ESP, remote viewing, telekinesis, right? Codependent feeling in the atmosphere with codependent feelings, right? With a relationship to have all these abilities to be spoon bending, clock winding, and levitating. They have none of these abilities. Everyone's living in a massive global delusional state to think they have all these abilities, and they think, right, that people who do have them, it's just full of shit and lies because they don't have them, because they're jealous, weak spot for cows, living in a massive global delusional state. But this is why we're in post-human states and stripped from our biological genes and don't even have faith in our own 27 senses. We live in 32. I mean, we have 32, but we only live in 5. We only use the 6 sense 1 to 5%. We can't use none of these abilities. That's why we're in post-human states. We can also create 2 molecules of metallic to preserve life in DNA. These people are 400 years old, 10 feet tall in the outback of Australia, the last human beings born on Earth, while we die by the time we 80 from stress. Stress-related diseases. In the second chromosome, we've had an intervention, right? And in that intervention, there's a mutation, an evolution mutation that we follow in our bloodline that creates every single problem in the world, and being in psycho programs on reverse psychology, trapped in consciousness, completely unaware of our 27 senses, right? Our universal abilities and our universal language. Listen carefully. The movie 7 is the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins is a mutation that happens to everybody who has the VREL in them, right? If you look at the world today, you'll realize every human being lives in these 7 deadly sins. That was declared by the great Greek philosophers all the way back in those days. We know what the VREL is. The VREL is a leprosy that Christ could heal, right? All right, a skin disease when the parasites were coming out everywhere. That's leprosy, parasite. Look all these things up. I made 3 of the most critical videos in the world today. Worldwide warning, the delusional parasitosis. And if you understand this parasite, it's in every human being, and it's called the serpent, right? Or should I say the serpent in the mind, in the skull? The snake in the mind. It's a worm. And that worm's called the VREL in biblical history. That VREL is a worm called a delusional parasite, parasitosis, that's in every human being on the earth, in every study done. In the vaccination, you're seeing the VREL pulled out with these parasites. With methamphetamine, you saw it in the 80s and the 90s coming out of the skin. These things have been around for years. Now we know, with studies done in America, that 78% of Americans have one of the parasites from a cat alone. There are 9 different parasites, and every American's fully loaded with the parasites, with mental disorders and DNA defects, die the youngest on FDA all over the world, has the worst DNA, takes the most methamphetamine, takes most drug delivery system with drugs, with graphene oxides, that has everything to do with the VREL, the parasites. And it's not what you think, because your mindset with the placebo effect creates that with the footsteps that you follow in the evolution mutation. If you change your vertigo to think outside the mind, you can prepare every single thing about this easily. We have people here that's had cancer defects, stage 4 cancer, and serious side effects from the vaccination. And we change their placebo effect and they heal, just like Dr. Bruce Lipton says. And we create that placebo, just like Joe Dispenza says. You are the placebo. And no one has that placebo because they haven't got the time to prepare their biological genes to think outside the mind, and it takes 7 years to master the mind to do that. Instead, you're being mastered by the voice of mind, which is the REL, the voices in your mind, their personalities, coding your DNA from your ancestors tools that follows those footsteps with the evolution mutation. Greed, power, temptation, material things, and everything they love in life. Modern technology, modern gadgets, and minis. And Christ warned you about this, and that's what they're warning about with the top bowlers in the whole world, with Jeremy Griffiths and the top scholars in the world. They wrote the book Freedom, the cure of the human condition that's going to save humanity, which is the parasites and the voice of mind's ultimate scientific extinction. Christ knew how to fix this. I was designed for this moment with very specific details, right, with very heavy biological evidence. My book, The Testimony of Drug Will Be Born, is the drug that's a parasite with the headless Pandora's box opening up. They're telling you all over the world, mRNA technology. You don't understand what it is. It's an electronic magnetic device. What do you think it conducts to? It conducts to an outside influence that creates a parasite with an evolution mutation through what? Principality and the power in the air. Radio waves. When you think outside the mind and your principality's in the right place, you have the God-given power so that no weapon formed against you prosper. We prove it. We prove it with not only biological evidence, but Jeremy Griffiths, right, the World Transformation Movement is teaching this, and it's biologically. It's a natural selection in life. But you're living an artificial challenge with an unnatural selection in your life with an evolution mutation, and you choose to make that decision. 99% of freedom fighters and truth fighters in New Age is in an evolution mutation. They haven't been human since 1960, so they can't make a natural decision or naturally select because they're post-human since 1960, and they don't even believe it. So they're in brain lock denial. They don't even understand that their own chromosome, right, in chromosome 2 with that evolution mutation says loud and clear, self-explanatory. They are a hybrid. They have 2 chromosomes in that chromosome with an intervention, which means they also have 24 chromosomes. When they switch over the vertigo to the 24th chromosome, they have a superhuman ability to repair everything and preserve life. They're not even aware of it. No one can teach this in the whole world. You know why? Because there's only 130 people that knows this. And I'm one of those people. And you know what? We get suppressed and oppressed by the whole Western civilization because they're jealous, weak, spiteful cows, don't care about nothing, only about themselves. Yet we the only ones can help them. And they suppress us. The whole system does. The government does. They all do. They put people on the platform that are good mouthpieces from America that speak shit all day and don't know how to do these things because they're trapped in consciousness, and the whole world's trapped in Christ consciousness in a massive global deluge. The delusional state. The delusional parasite in their mind with the serpent in the mind is a worm, and it's a parasite called the REL. And I got to make you understand this. The 7 deadly sins is what you live by. And they're inside of your DNA in an evolution mutation in that REL, right? In 5 sensitive negative fears, and that's what you're trapped into your mind and personality. But you don't know who you are and why you're with them in life because you're trapped with amnesia and don't even know yourself spiritually, and you're naturally going to know how to use these abilities. And that's why we teach people to break free from the mind trap and break free from REL, break free from the voice of the mind, the serpent in the mind. And it kills the REL. And it's the only thing that works because nothing in the system with Brahma, ADHD, psychosis, schizophrenia, bipolar, any of the medication with any study done, cancer, blood clots, myocarditis, nothing works. But this does, and you're not listening because you're trapped inside your skull in your own personality without a care factor. And you make that unnatural selection with an artificial intelligence, with an alien invasion, which is inside your mind, the AI world. That's what you believe in the most because action speaks louder than words, and words don't mean nothing without the action to back it up. And we can see it in every person's DNA, especially Americans, and mostly people who are self-proclaimed prophets and speak shit all day like Hollywood characters on the screens. And they have the worst DNA with those orders and use the wrong grammar with the wrong tools to make a name for themselves with predictive programming and reading news all day and exaggerating every story, right, as if they're someone special, using the same parasite they're designed into on propaganda through Silicon Valley and Pentagon approved by them. Everything was designed for a plan, and everyone fell into the plan, and every single psych operation put up by the Silicon Valley, by NASA and CIA, approved by Pentagon. You can see that next side mobile conviction, right, in 2019, 280 programs, and they believe in every single deception in the world in America with the parasite inside their mind. And right now, there's only one way out of this, and that's to restore your biological genes and recreate the sacred secretion with a winner beat the program is won a Nobel Prize and the book Freedom that takes you through the fiction points by Jeremy Griffiths and the World Transformation Movement. But trust me, there's only 45 million people out of 8.1 billion that's going into this transformation with a natural selection because they can't select naturally and people don't care. So they're doing nothing about it with a massive global effect, and no one in the world can even deal with the truth, not even the top experts in the world. Watch these 3 videos. right? Watch these 3 videos, right? On the Street Wisdom Bible page and the Witness page. Watch these 3 powerful videos and take them to every doctor, every family and loved ones in the world. Because believe me, anyone who can't handle this goes in a brain lock denial and beyond the point of return through the inflection point. And the inflection point's happening on a global scale all over the world with Havana syndromes, drugs going through the roof, stress pandemics and suicide rates going up everywhere across the world with medication running out. And that's what you have to understand. 95% of people has got voice in the mind, and that's serpents in the mind with the VREL. It's a delusional parasite. Believe it or not.